Their enlistment's up. 2,000 New Jersey and Maryland men have left us in the last week. Now the enemy is 3 to our 1.
If this continues, by the end of the month, we'll have no army at all.
And Tory forces are gathering behind us.
They see us on the run ever since New York. They know we lost Fort Washington, Fort Lee. Now, all of New Jersey's gone.
The Jackals want to be in on the kill.
Sir, since you left half the army at the north to protect New England, you must send General Lee another urgent message to bring his troops from Jersey. They could save us.
Now that we need him, he ignores us.
I have faith in him, General Greene. He'll get here.
If he doesn't, sir, we will face certain defeat.
No, sir. Never. If only a few of us go on fighting, the enemy will one day tire of this war that we refuse to let him win because we will not give up.
Sir? A bottle of schnapps I liberated when we gave the Hessians a bloody nose before we left White Plains. If you will, sir, I'll have that drink you once offered. To our Commander-in-Chief, whom we are honored to serve.
Captain John Lawrence of South Carolina, Your Excellency. My father, Henry Lawrence, recommends me to you.
Can you write a fair hand?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yes,
But
I know you wish to fight, but at the moment I need you to write. I'll appoint you my staff secretary. I must send another message to General Lee, who still waits with his troops in northern Jersey.
Whatever you wish me to do, sir.
Done asking that gentleman. I will now order him to bring his army to us.
By God, the Continental Army needs Charles Lee more than Israel ever needed a savior. Or a weary general needs his midnight sport.
We must be leaving, sir. Your army is already miles ahead of us, heading for Pennsylvania.
I may yet decide to turn and surprise the enemy by a bold attack.
But General Washington needs you, sir.
He does. I tell you, sir, that great man is most damnably deficient.
Please, sir, Mrs. White will skin me if I don't turn the butter.
Turn your butter, you cheeky wench. I tell you, sir, with enlistments up at the end of the month and all the desertions, Washington's unfortunate army begs destruction. He's asking for capture or death. So then how can that timid Congress not make Charles Lee the new commander-in-chief?
Charles Lee! Charles Lee, we know you're in there!
Gone, where do they come from?
Surrender or we'll show what we think of turncoat generals by burning down this tavern and putting every bloody rebel to the sword.
These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything.
We just got word British dragoons have captured General Lee.
Lee, how could... Where were his troops?
Some miles ahead, sir. They're rushing to join us.
Well, thank God the army is safe.
And Sir General Gates is here.
Gates.
Is not slavery, then is there not such a thing as slavery upon earth? There's a lot more of Mr. Thomas Paine's words here, but I'll try to put it right on the drumhead. The army needs you to re-enlist. And I know how you feel. You want to turn your backs on this nightmare and head home on New Year's Day, but don't you see that you can't? If you do, it'll all be over. Everything that makes life worth living is what we're fighting for. 6 more weeks. That's all His Excellency asks of you. Now, which will be the first to stand up and show his love for his country and for General Washington?
Have you lost your senses? You've done more than your bloody share.
What if everybody quits him? What if he quits us?
I got my woman pining for me. I got every right to leave, and so do you.
The spirit of this country has sunk so low that only desperate measures can revive it.
To cross over a river at 3 different places and strike a surprise blow at an enemy needs a far greater army than this. You think they could ever attack Hessians, the most ruthless troops in all Europe? Ah! Look at them! A defeated and disheartened rabble. Their enlistments are up in a few days. Now, what on earth makes you think that they'd allow you to lead them in a hopeless battle?
There are 100 arguments against this, sir. But if we do not try and succeed, the cause is lost.
Sir, your plan is nothing short of preposterous.
You have my permission to leave for Philadelphia immediately.
We'll do it, gentlemen. Because we have to. On Christmas night, we'll show off in Colonel Glover's boats, cross the river, and strike Trenton 1 hour before dawn on the 26th.
Dench? Sir, what if the Hessian garrison sees us in the water?
Well, after celebrating the holiday, they won't be expecting early morning visitors. Besides, European officers would think any army foolish to attack in the winter.
Be the devil's own work, sir.
Yes, General Gates would surely agree with you.
If any word should reach the Hessians, they'd simply put their guns on the shore and blast us out of the water.
Just to get the men across the Delaware in the bitter cold and winter currents. But the cannon, too. And to commit so many men, sir.
If this attack fails, and we're trapped in Jersey, it's all over.
It's all over in any event if we don't try.
We lose most of our army in the new year.
But if we strike first, force them to chase us, and fight our kind of war, who knows what benefits may follow? Why, the men may take heart, and they may stay with us.
The decision's made.
The success of this raid depends on secrecy, swiftness, and surprise. Let the password be victory or death.
If I make it through this, boys, I'm gone with the new year.
Captain, this weather will wet the men's powder. Our muskets won't fire.
Then you must use your bayonets, Sergeant. Trenton must be taken.
Yes, sir.
Wenigstens was zum Rosten hätten, Hilfe. Feuer, aber haben wir nicht.
Der Feind! Der Feind! Der Feind! Der Feind!
Was ist denn los hier?
Move into formation, men!
Aufwachen! Soldaten, aufwachen! Die haben uns überfallen! Erste und zweite Kompanie!
Ist eine Übung oder ist das für
Formation!
Keine Übung.
Weckt auf! Schneller hier! Los! Vorwärts! Aufgestellt! Raus! Los haltet das Pulver trocken! Soldaten auf! Hol die raus aus dem Haus!
Pull that cannon around! Over here!
Aufstellen! Bleibt zusammen hier!
Pull it over to the left and bring it in! Sergeant, you may begin to prime your weapons!
Scatter them, Henry. Don't let them form, and they won't know what to do.
Captain Hamilton, fire grape shot!
Gentlemen, make grape shot ready! Fire number one! Fire number two!
They're trying to set up their own cannon.
We've surrendered, sir. We've done it, sir. We've done it.
So we have.
Where might I find General Washington?
Captain Hamilton. We've been expecting you.
His Excellency has had his eye on you, Captain.
Your skill and bravery at Trenton are not your only recommendations.
Trying to embarrass me, gentlemen.
Don't be modest, Captain. I know His Excellency would be most impressed by the care with which you carry his personal trunk, containing priceless and breakable memorabilia.
Can you tell me, sir, what this summons is about?
But what else? To be one of the chosen, of course. An aide de camp.
I am honored.
Upstairs.
Upstairs.
And don't be too honored till we tell you what the General expects of his aides.
We go very late to bed and are very early up.
We not only execute orders, but we are actually required to think.
Indeed, sir, the weight of the whole war will be on your shoulders.
Just so it's no heavier than this damnable trunk.
There's more.
More?
Much more.
More.
Well, Captain Hamilton, I see that Tillman and Lawrence have you busy already.
Idle hands make work for the devil, sir.
Yes. I suppose they've told you why you're here and what's expected of you.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
Good.
Have you decided to join us?
Sir, I shall be proud to serve you once we discuss my new rank.
The honor is not enough.
I think it only proper, sir, in view of the work required, that I have the same rank as your other aides, Lieutenant Colonel.
But you'd have me jump you 2 ranks at barely 20 years of age, Captain Hamilton?
Yes, sir. Because I shall prove my worth to you as I have already proven it to these gentlemen.
When I was your age, I asked Governor Dinwiddie to make me adjutant of the Virginia Regiment, and he said I had gall enough for twice my age. I finally met a man with equal gall. Lieutenant Colonel Hamilton.
Colonel.
What I can't understand, General Washington, is why you hold up here in these rugged hills.
Well, because we're still not strong enough to face the enemy in open battle. So we hit and run and hope that by forcing him to chase us, he'll grow weary of the fight and go home.
But you bested him at Trenton, Princeton.
That's because we took him by surprise.
But we only stepped on his toes. Perhaps even pulled his tail. But we could never attack his main body, for we lacked the supplies. Bullets, powder, and most of all, trained men. The enemy is still 2 to our 1, you see.
I believe the General is telling you something, John.
I have urged the Congress to authorize more Continental regiments.
Well, and I hope the right to enlist them for the length of the war.
Now you ask too much. You know how wary the Congress is of a permanent army.
As it is, Mr. Adams, our enlisted men are gone before we can even train them. It's ironic that even when they're fighting for their own liberty, free men resist the discipline and order it takes to make a strong army. But I believe in my heart if you give them to me long enough, those same free men will match the best in Europe. But until then, we must run away to fight another day. Or one. This talk of war must bore you, Mrs. Adams.
On the contrary, General Washington. I'm utterly fascinated.
An unusual bouquet. From Portugal?
New Jersey. Roots, herbs, bog berries allowed to ferment as long as it takes Congress to grant our requests. How did you like the stew, sir?
Excellent.
We don't get it very often anymore. Those little rascals hereabouts seem to be running faster now that they know that they're candidates for our cook pots. It's the squirrels, the muskrats, that sort of thing.
Why do I have the feeling my leg is being pulled? I shall once again remind Congress of your desperate need for more of everything. Now, I can blame your potent wine for my passing on this latest gossip. Are you aware, sir, there is talk of making you an American king?
John, really?
But it's true. A poem has even been written. A crown, a mansion, a throne that shine. With gold unfailing, Washington, be thine.
The idea is preposterous. We're finished with kings in this country.
How are we going to fire the weapons?
Together, Sergeant.
How are we going to fight the war?
Together, Sergeant.
I can't hear you.
Together, Sergeant.
All right. Shoulder fire lock. Left shoulder. We have to get you another hat, soldier. Prepare to prime and load. Together. Prisons up. Handle cartridges. Together. Prime. Prisons down. Take your ease. Well, if it isn't the apprentice farmer, back to tell us what fools we still are.
Well, it mortifies me to say it.
You re-enlisted.
2 months of a real bed, good beef, and warm wife was all I could take. I had to get back to the old misery and hunger brigade so I'd have something to complain about again.
Benedict Arnold deserves better, Mr. Adams.
But sir, Connecticut had her share of major generals. It was not a deliberate affront.
But it appeared so to Arnold, and he is furious. Forget his exploits at Ticonderoga and Canada. Were it not for his rousing the Connecticut countryside last spring and driving the British back to their ships, countless New England towns would have been ravaged by the enemy.
The man is worthy, sir, but he is a troublemaker. We agreed to make him a major general. What more do you want?
Since he was a senior brigadier, rank him above the 5 officers you promoted ahead of him.
That would ruin congressional dignity.
We'll have more than our dignity to worry us, gentlemen, if Howe and his fleet appear in the Delaware.
If we are in mortal danger, General Washington, you must tell us so we may move the Congress somewhere west.
Oh, we mustn't be so concerned with congressional hides that we neglect other urgent matters.
General Schuyler must be replaced as Northern Commander.
He lost Ticonderoga. He does not inspire his troops.
New York will be furious if we remove him.
And New England will be angry if we don't.
Schuyler, let's go.
We have decided to replace him with Horatio Gates. Unless Your Excellency has an objection. We had heard there was some disaffection.
General Gates can command combat and supply. The choice is a sensible one.
We are delighted you agree with us, sir.
I neither agree nor disagree. The choice was yours.
But you have agreed.
The days ahead will be difficult and dangerous, gentlemen. We do not need divisive conflicts within our own ranks, either between states, congressmen, or generals.
If we could all remember that.
General Washington, may I present Marie-Joseph Paul, Yves Roche, Gilbert de Montier, Marquis de Lafayette.
Welcome, sir.
I express to you my admiration.
Yes, well, I have done little to earn your admiration as yet, sir.
No. Canton. Princeton. I bow to your miracles.
Please, sit down.
I intend, as my new commander-in-chief, to prove to you that I offer myself out of the most pure of motives, love.
Marquis,
When I heard America was fighting for her freedom, I have desired to bleed for her.
Yes, sir, please.
And as in return, I ask only 2 favors. The first would be to serve in your army as a volunteer until such time as Your Excellency have decided that I have earned a battlefield command. And the second would be to serve at my own expense. And I will prove to you that...
I surrender, sir. And as your prisoner, I am able to grant your other favor with pleasure, as our purse is almost empty.
Ah, mon général! Merci! Merci bien!
And as to the first, my dear Marquis de Lafayette, I would be delighted to have you as a member of my military family.
Ah, merci bien.
Now, please, sit. Sit. Perhaps when you get to know us better, you'll be able to show a little more enthusiasm.
Enthousiasme?
Enthusiasm.
Ah oui!
Sir, British militia has been sighted at the mouth of the Delaware. You were right. General Howe intends to take Philadelphia.
But how did it happen? I did not think he would risk his entire army.
He had to, sir. You all wanted him to save Philadelphia.
Why did he make you stand at Brandywine? The Redcoats overwhelmed him.
Another Long Island disaster.
My God, to have to run from them again.
Gentlemen, he performed miracles. With inexperienced troops, they did not panic, but fought like regulars.
A bloody rout is a bloody rout, Colonel Hamilton.
Be grateful that General Washington is still alive and not taken prisoner, for only he can keep this army from defeat.
That, sir, is a matter for debate.
Gentlemen, hurry, hurry. Washington will need more than miracles to bring order out of this chaos. Go! Go!
Halt the column. Column! Halt! Officers, pull your men out.
Tried to pick Philadelphia clean, sir, before the Redcoats could march down Market Street.
That's it?
These wagons are all we could fill.